Hello friends and welcome back to another video. So this time we'll cover something very good topic and which is very useful while you make 2D games, which is object pooling. So today we will understand what is object pooling and how basically it is important and it is useful for game development actually. For theoretical term, if I say simply, so basically object pooling is something like if you have same kind of object and you are instantiating again and again. So usually people do is like they create object, they instantiate object and they destroy it. The problem behind of it is like every time when you instantiate and destroy the game object which is same type, uh, garbage collector works a lot, and because of that, at one point of time game starts lagging because garbage collection is very expensive. To mitigate that particular problem, object pooling concept has come actually. So let's come to the screen and we'll understand via pictorial representation how object pooling works, right? So here in my screen, so let's say this is my bullet, okay, and this is my fighter jet. If I want to fire this bullet again and again, so bullet are the same, right? The object is same, but usually if I don't know the pooling thing, I will create this object, I will instantiate this object, and I'll just throw it out. I'll simply apply the force, and after certain amount of time it will get destroyed. Then again new bullet will create and it will destroy. So to mitigate this problem, what we can do is like I will fire this bullet, okay, it will go to the certain amount of place where it has to go, and after that once it gets once it get uh, hit to the target, I will just simply disable or set active false. If I just do set active false, then again I'm reusing the same bullet, and it just resetting the position of it. So it will its position will be again the starting point, and again if I press some kind of button like or if I just simply take input from my mouse, the same bullet will fire again and again. So that's how we are not creating multiple object of same time, and because we are just simply using some specific amount of bullet or some specific amount of same type of object, and we are reusing again and again. This is what we call object pooling. So let's come to the screen and we'll see how basically we can implement it in programming world actually. So without further ado, let's get dive into the video. So as you can see here, I have set up a scene. In this, I created two game object. First game object name is fighter jet, and another which is just having sprite render component and having is sprite of fighter jet. Another game object is bullet, which is another is having sprite sheet and having a bullet sprite. So we just make first of all prefab of the bullet, okay, and just delete it from the hierarchy, right? Now what I'm going to do, I have created another script as well. In the script folder you can see object pooling. So I'll just drag and drop this object pool script, and what I'm going to do here is let's open this script first, and I'll tell you what actually going on this particular script, right? So if you can see here, there is a variable of integer type. It's called pool size. So pool size is something that we are defining the size of our pool, like how many bullets or how many game object will instantiate, and it will be stored in a pool. Pool is nothing but we have created a queue. So queue will hold all the instantiated bullet, and like in our case we set the size of the pool is 10, so 10 bullets will be instantiated and it will store to the queue, to this particular queue actually. A bullet prefab is a prefab which is going to be instantiated right? And we made a separate static variable, so that if we want to call this script from other script, we can access this particular script via this object and in this instance. And we already understood how we make singleton in the singleton chapter. So here we are doing nothing but just making a singleton, right? After that, I made a function called create pool. Let's understand this function. So here what we am going to just do is like I am loop throwing. I just started a loop from I equals to 0, and I should be lesser than pool size, which is 10. Okay, and I always be incremented. So instantiate the bullet. We are instantiating bullet. Our for the first time it will instantiate a bullet. It will store to the game object, and we are just set activating that particular bullet and storing it to the queue. So to store a game object in queue, we write this line: pool.enqueue. Enqueue will enqueue the bullet or game object to the queue. So pool enqueue the object, in our case bullet. So it will do this code will execute for 10 times because the loop size is 10, right? To test this function, we just simply what we can do, we comment out this update. We will understand after some time. First we just see that our 10 bullets is getting instantiated or not in the hierarchy. So we just simply calling this function in awake, and let's play it and just test it whether the 10 bullets are getting instantiated on in a hierarchy or not. Okay, we need to pass the reference of our bullet prefab. So in the prefab folder, we created this bullet prefab. Just drag and drop it, and just simply click on play button. Now you can see here that 10 bullets have been instantiated, right? So our create a pool function is working fine. We don't need to do anything from here. Okay, now let's understand how we can get bullet from this pool actually. So here I have made another function called get bullet, if you can see here. So get bullet is we are doing. We are simply checking if the pool.count is greater than 10. So we are checking here that if there is any bullet or there is any game object in the queue, that's if there is a game object, then the size will be 1 or 2 or something like that. In our case it will be 10, right? So if the bullet size, if the count is greater than 0, then we just simply grabbing the bullet from the queue and returning it. And if there is no bullet in the queue, we just simply instantiating a new bullet and returning to the user, right? So to get bullet, actually we'll call this function when user click on the screen actually, or when user press space button in the screen. So just what we are doing to uncomment this line. So here we are doing input.get key down, key code is space. So if the user presses key space, and also we are checking current bullet. So current bullet is a simple game object which I created. So initially it will be null only, right? Now again what I'm doing, current bullet equals to get bullet. So whatever bullet we are getting from queue, we are storing it in the current bullet. We are setting the transform position and rotation of the bullet, which will be the position in which this script is attached. Okay, then current bullet set active true. Now our bullet is set active true. We just comment out this line also, we'll understand after a while. So now if I press space button, ideally our bullet should fire. Let's see whether it's working or not. I play. Now if I'm firing, bullet is activating, if you can see. but it's not going because for that we are managing this line of code to translate the bullet. Okay, so bullet is activating here. We till yet we are just activating the bullet. Now to fire the bullet, this line of code will work. So it will check first that current bullet is not null. In our case, it's not null now. So what we are passing, we are giving translation. So translate current bullet dot transform dot translate vector 3 dot write. We are passing speed value and also time dot data time, right? So let's see if now we click on play button, it will work or not. I press, bullet got fired, right? But if you can see, the bullet is not getting destroyed or not deactivating. So why? Because we are not set like after a while, after a certain amount of time, it should deactivate. So for that, deactivating a bullet and to it putting it to the bullet, putting it to the same queue, I have made a function called disable bullet. Disable bullet, what it is doing? First, it will we are basically holding our current bullet which got fired now. We are holding it to the game object temporary variable. Now we are making current bullet to the null. Okay, so that next bullet we can store in the same object, and the bullet which we hold in a current variable, which we are going to pass it to another function called return object. So in return to put, we are passing the temporary variable. Click it. If you expand this function, so the current bullet which got fired now got first of all deactivate, and we are enqueuing it again. We are putting that bullet in the same pool actually, right? I hope this you understood. And yeah, for executing this function, we just simply uncomment this line. So here we are saying that once our bullet gets fired, we click on space button. Once it gets fired, after 2 seconds, disable bullet will fire. It will go to this function, and we are holding the current bullet to the temporary variable, making the current bullet is null, and again returning, we are passing the temporary variable which is bullet, making it false and putting it to the queue only. Let's see and check it out whether it works or not. Now if I press, it got fired, and after certain amount of time, after 2 seconds, it got disabled. Now you can see another bullet get fired. In the hierarchy you see third bullet get fired, fourth bullet get fired, fifth one, sixth one, and so on. So that's how the object pooling works. I hope this topic you understood. And in the next section, we'll go to basically work on making real game.